This is CBC Here and Now.
We arrived here, you took one look at this site, and what did you say?
Well, I said, thank God that we didn't have another chain of accident, and I see a very close call here.
A day after an explosion rocked Mount Pearl, a safety expert says it's lucky it wasn't a fatal blast.
An expert in risk and safety engineering says yesterday's explosion in Mount Pearl could have been much worse. Police continue to investigate the blast at Trimac Transportation in Donovan's Industrial Park.
3 people were sent to hospital. Here and Now's Katie Breen is at the scene. Katie, what does this expert have to say?
Well, he says generally scenes like the one behind me happen when there's a hydrocarbon leak and it creates an undetected vapor cloud.
The smaller the confinement and the larger the energy, the more intense the explosion would be. That's exactly how explosion works.
Khan says if you weld within a confined area where there's an undetected vapor cloud, the results can be disastrous.
It's almost given that incident likely to happen. And to avoid that or prevent that, we need a very series of checks and balances to ensure that that never take place.
Surprisingly, yesterday, there was no fire with the explosion. According to Khan, that's likely because the blast consumed all of the leaked hydrocarbon. He said if there was another liquid hydrocarbon source around, a fire probably would have started, and it would have been big, given the type of materials inside the warehouse.
But glad that there is no subsequent fire, which has definitely limit the accident potential or damage-causing potential.
And it could have been much worse for another reason, too. Large pieces of shrapnel were sent flying yesterday, and if they hit nearby propane tanks, a series of explosions could have been triggered. The first tank would blow, then the next.
And there has been past instances in history where such series of accidents have happened and caused the catastrophe and multiple fatalities and huge property losses.
Khan, a professor at Memorial, plans to study the police and occupational health and safety reports upon completion. He says events like the one at Trimac, while tragic, help advise academics and their future research.
My belief is that we have to look far beyond the investigation and take this as a lesson to learn and prepare ourselves that events such as these never happen.
Now, Trimac, the company, is not commenting on the explosion, and there's no update to pass along on the injuries, the conditions of the workers who were involved. But what we do have is more from Khan. His full interview with Debbie will air later in the show. Reporting live for Here and Now, I'm Katie Breen in Mount Pearl.
A prospect twice the size of Hibernia. That's what is being dangled before oil companies with an interest in our offshore. Nalcor has nicknamed it Raleigh. Measuring 300 square kilometers, it's located in the Orphan Basin, and it's generating quite the buzz at this week's oil and gas conference in St. John's.
It is, again, a classic structure, the type which industry looks for these days. But the feature that we look at here and are interested in is that it's stacked. That it's not so much the resource that goes outwards like Cape Creel's, that big fan. This one, the resource is stacked likely. We'll know when we drill, of course.
The Raleigh prospect is one of many that are up for bids in this year's licensing round, and it's one of 650 leads and prospects in our offshore. The oil industry has high hopes for exploration over the short term. The government wants to drill 100 new wells over the next 12 years.
This is a Bitcoin ATM. Find out how scammers are convincing Newfoundlanders to convert thousands of dollars into cryptocurrency and send it their way, coming up on Here and Now.
A former Mountie who once served in Labrador is suing the federal government, a doctor and a psychologist who worked for the RCMP. He says he developed post-traumatic stress disorder following postings in communities in northern Canada, including Labrador. And he says the force did not provide enough support to keep him healthy. Elizabeth McMillan reports.
Chris Boucher alleges he was exposed to traumatizing experiences while working in remote communities in Labrador and Nunavut. And the former RCMP sergeant says he did not receive psychological support or counseling from the force. He was medically discharged earlier this year. Boucher moved to Hopedale, Labrador in 1998, and he helped police smaller communities like Davis Inlet, Postville, and Makovic. The RCMP considered the job high risk. Court documents show the Mounties required Boucher to undergo medical and psychological screening beforehand. Boucher's statement of claim alleges no one told him that an evaluation found he was showing signs of mild to moderate psychological dysfunction. He says that deprived him and his family of the ability to make an informed decision about the move north. Boucher continued to work in remote communities for a decade. After Labrador, he was stationed in the Nunavut hamlets of Resolute Bay, Pond Inlet, and Kuluktuk. As a detachment commander in Kuluktuk, Boucher oversaw 4 other officers. And during his time there, the community of 1,300 people struggled with suicide and alcohol abuse. In 1 year, there were 600 criminal charges. Boucher says he began experiencing symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder in 2008, his last year in Nunavut. The Federal Department of Justice denies any liability. The Crown's statement of defense says Boucher never brought up any psychological challenges during his time in the North. It says he reported enjoying his work and denied suffering from any psychological challenges. Boucher declined to do an interview about the case. Elizabeth McMillan, CBC News, Halifax.
Well,
It's getting nicer.
temperatures are warming up just in time for the summer solstice. So did you notice what Colette has here?
Yes.
The old-fashioned way?
State-of-the-art props.
Yes, we used to use fruit, you know, an orange. In this case, I've got a nectarine and kind of try and illustrate how the Earth goes, you know, around the sun and why it's a summer solstice. But we don't
2018.
Yeah, it's 2018. We don't have to do it that way anymore. I've actually made a graphic here.
That's true. Excellent.
Yes, so we can explain what's going on with the first day of summer. I know for some it kind of feels like, well, what happened to spring? So maybe you're going to wake up and think, okay, it feels like spring, but it's the first day of summer. And speaking of a graphic, and we can kind of explain exactly what happens at this time of year. So we do have our summer solstice. We've got our Earth in rotation around the sun, and the northern hemisphere with that tilt towards the sun, we're finding the highest sun position that we see in the whole year. So it does mean that after tomorrow, the days will start getting shorter. But if we look at this in a positive way, which I prefer to do, it means tomorrow is the longest day of the year in terms of day length. And if you're asking, well, exactly how long is that? I'm going to show you in just a moment, but there we go. It comes in Newfoundland 7:37 and 7:07 for Labrador. So tomorrow morning you are literally, well, it depends what time you get up, but you're waking up to summertime. So what that means for the day length, this is your sunrise and sunset. It means almost 17 hours. And for St. John's, the day length, almost 16 hours. And if you're wondering, today, for example, it's actually 15, 58, and 41 seconds. But for the first day of summer, we get 15, 58, and 43 seconds. So you can think about, hey, what do you want to do with those extra couple of seconds you're getting? In terms of our highs today, certainly feeling more like summertime. Beautiful day right now. It's 19 degrees in St. John's, Badger, Gander. You guys sitting at 21. What's to come next? I will explain what the actual summer forecast for the first day is going to look like.
Thanks, Colette. Well, it may be the next generation of the Canada Revenue Agency phone scam. There have been fraud cases in the past where the intended victim is bullied into buying iTunes gift cards. Now, as Here and Now Stephen Miller explains, the latest twist on that scam involves cryptocurrency.
New phone scam is putting a high-tech spin on a familiar ploy.
CRA Audit Department, after undertaking a statutory audit of your tax, has concluded that taxes for grants have not been paid by you. The Audit Department has got strong evidence that this was not an innocent act or negligence, and this was willful act done with the intent to defraud the CRA.
The scam still involves the impersonation of Canada Revenue Agency officials, but now they're demanding payment in the form of Bitcoin. Tara O'Reilly, the owner of Yes Buys in downtown St. John's, has one of the few Bitcoin ATMs in the city where you can convert your cash into the digital currency. O'Reilly first became aware of the scam when a victim called and told her they'd fallen prey to the plot.
And then we got a phone call about 2 weeks ago, and this guy was telling me, he's like, yeah, I was into Yes Buys there a couple of days ago, and I put about $5,000 into your Bitcoin ATM. He's like, I did that because there is a scam going around, and I was floored, like I had no idea this was happening. So I wanted to do as much as we could to and take the best course of action.
Ray Bursey's company owns the Bitcoin ATM at Yes Buys. He says that while Bitcoin transactions are not untraceable, it can be difficult.
The addresses you're sending to, they don't have names attached to them. much like your Gmail account could be fluffybunny@gmail.com. It doesn't have your name.
The future is digital, says Bursey. Scams are no different, and awareness is the best defense.
Like anything, do your due diligence. Think it through. And you know what? Google it.
The RNC says there are some things you can keep in mind if you get a call from someone saying they're with the tax agency.
Just realize that CRA is not going to ask for any personal information, be it either over a telephone call, a text message, or an email or anything like that. If the revenue agency is going to get in touch with you, they'll send you a formalized letter.
And if you do come to YesBuys to use the Bitcoin ATM, there's now a warning, another step to help you from getting scammed. Stephen Miller, CBC News, St. John's.
Survivors of sexual violence can now get free legal advice thanks to a new provincial program. The 3-year project was announced some time ago, but lawyers had to first undergo training for working with survivors of trauma. 21 lawyers were recruited to work with people who have experienced sexual violence and are seeking legal guidance.
Ryan Clough is the new head coach of the Newfoundland Growlers. The Fermuse native and former NHLer will be calling the shots when the Toronto Maple Leafs affiliated team takes to the ice this fall. Clough played 11 seasons in the NHL, a number of teams, the San Jose Sharks, the New York Rangers, and the New Jersey Devils. He was forced to retire in 2015, though, after a string of concussions. For the past 2 years, he has served as an assistant coach with the Devils.
Well, if you think milk is expensive in this province, you're right. That's according to Field Agent Canada, a group that tracks prices. In the past week, it checked prices in 18 Canadian cities, including St. John's. The results? In St. John's, milk costs $1.85 a litre. That's down just over 5% from their 2014 survey, but St. John's is still the most expensive city in Canada for milk. At an average cost of $1.05 a litre, Sudbury is the cheapest city in the survey. One reason milk costs so much here, the largest size we can buy is 2-litre cartons, whereas in other markets, 1-litre bags and 4-litre plastic containers are available.
The provincial government has already said it will consult with towns and businesses over a plastic bag ban, but it's not going to rush into anything. So a group in St. John's is keeping up the pressure to do it sooner rather than later, and it's a group that just might surprise you. Here Now's Malone Mullen has more.
Remind me, where does the soup can go? Does it go metal, plastic, or paper?
Just 2 weeks ago, this grade 1 class at Bishop Field Elementary didn't think much about plastic waste.
All the things we put in the recycling bins will be turned into new things that we can use again.
But an unusual school trip changed that. The kids went to the so-called plastic forest, an area behind the Robin Hood Bay landfill where old shopping bags go to die.
And it was everywhere, and I was furious.
But the main thing that shocked us was a forest full of plastic. It's called the plastic forest. I saw plastic up in trees, laying on the ground, hanging in bushes, stuck in the ground. It's everywhere. I mean, it's killing animals all around the world.
Unlike bottles and cans, some facilities like this one don't recycle plastic bags. And in a province that uses 100 million of them every year, these kids think the only solution is to not use them at all. Because of the shocking sight of all that trash, these mini eco-warriors wrote a letter to the province with help from their teacher, asking for a ban on single-use shopping bags.
And the grade 1s came up with a solution of providing each family with 10 reusable bags, much like the recycling program with the plastic garbage cans, to get them started on that. So our next hope is that we will hear from Minister Parsons.
We are only 6 years old and want our planet to stay pretty.
It's been asked before. St. John's City Council already voted in favor of a ban several times, and lately the province has been studying and discussing the possibility. But while grown-ups talk politics and regulations, these kids want to take action.
Even if a bag of chips flows out your window, an animal could eat it and get sick and die, and even if it's an accident, you should try and stop it.
There's lots of trash in the ocean.
There can be lots of trash in the ocean.
The best way to fuel the fury of the next generation, according to local researchers who presented to the class on Tuesday, is making a trip to the dump a yearly occasion for young people.
Awareness is the biggest thing that we need to instill in young people, because they are far more energetic and far more concerned. And I think teaching kids, starting at grade 1, not to put things into the environment and put things into the landfills is really what we need to do.
The stubbornness of the plastic problem hasn't deterred this grade 1 class, and their teacher thinks they've got this battle in the bag.
I really do. I really think that they're not going to settle. They're not going to rest. I think that even if they're going to make the changes in their own home first, and let's hope for the bigger change.
Malone Mullen, CBC News, St. John's.
One baby, 3 parents.
Coming up, meet the polyamorous family from this province that's made history.
An explosion here yesterday at Donovan's Industrial Park was devastating. But if debris from that explosion had hit these tanks, it might have been catastrophic. Coming up, we're going to hear from an expert on risk and safety engineering. Thanks very much for being here. A live look at what's left of the TriMac Transportation Building at Donovan's Industrial Park in Mount Pearl, the site of yesterday's major explosion. An internationally respected MUN professor specializing in safety and risk engineering says yesterday's explosion had the potential to kill, if not for a bit of luck. Dr. Faisal Khan, thank you very much for meeting me here. Look at that building. Are you surprised, as many others are, that nobody was killed or seriously injured in that?
I'm really surprised and thank to God that none of them really had a fatal injury and no fatality, because events such as this could easily cause fatalities, and in past accidents on a similar type on other locations has caused fatalities.
When you look at the wreckage, the debris that we see here, can you tell what actually happened to cause that explosion?
In a technical term, the type of explosion which I foresee occurring here would call as vapor cloud explosion. So what generally happens in these, that hydrocarbons might have leaked either from the tank or other sources and formed a vapor cloud which remain undetected if there is a possibility of a detection happening. And whenever an ignition source meets this vapor cloud, they burn instantly, and because of the confinement of this enclosure, this burning cloud will expand instantly and cause overpressure, and that overpressure is what we call explosions. And that's how the energy through the explosions come out in the form of destroying the building and some of these debris flying in the different directions.
And just blowing the
Blowing
roof
up,
off.
indeed.
And as we can see, flying debris right here behind us. What is that typical from the force of an explosion like that?
Yes, this is quite expected of an explosion of this magnitude to cause these debris to fly. I'm quite thankful to Almighty that they actually didn't penetrate to the next property. Had that been happened, would have been a very serious chain of accidents.
So as we see here, all of these propane tanks, if that metal had actually hit one of those tanks, what would have happened?
Quite different possibilities. One of the very common possibility is a series of explosion happening, because these seems to be the lighter hydrocarbons, which if the debris hit and leak would form another vapor cloud, which would be caused a second level of explosion, and this explosion would then blow the next tank and so on.
It would have been catastrophic.
Indeed, and there has been past instances in history where such series of accidents have happened and caused the catastrophe and multiple fatalities and huge property losses.
Well, getting back to the explosion that happened here, we don't know what the circumstances were. It's under investigation. But how often with a facility like this is it caused by welding activity?
I would say, based on my experiences on this type of incident, this is a very routine type of incident, where in a welding activity happening closer to the hydrocarbon processing or storage facility, it's almost given that incident likely to happen. And to avoid that or prevent that, we need a very series of checks and balances to ensure that that never take place.
One of the big questions people have as well is, why wasn't there any fire?
Good. Okay. So that's very interesting, and that's not surprising to me, because these explosions are generally caused by very light hydrocarbons, such as a propane here, or in gasoline, very light hydrocarbon, which form the vapor cloud, as we say. When these vapor clouds burn, they burn instantly, consuming all what is available, because they are in a very well mixed form. Because as I see here, there was no other liquid or other source of hydrocarbon available, perhaps that's why they didn't ignite a secondary fire and consume all the hydrocarbons what was available as a part of the explosion. Had it been there other liquid hydrocarbon around, would have caused a subsequent fire.
It's incredible. I mean, we were there live, as you know, Debbie, yesterday, but just to think 3 people in hospital with injuries that were not horribly serious, and everyone walked away from that.
And as Dr. Khan said, if those propane tanks had been hit and caused an explosion, there would have been one after another, and businesses in the area may have been impacted as well. So really, It was a good job out of bad, as they say, and he's very interested to see what the investigation will determine, whether there were checks and balances, and he says that's what they need to know. So going forward, they can prevent things like this.
In other news, 3 parents from this province have made Canadian history. They are the first family to have more than 2 people recognized as the legal parents of 1 child. The polyamorous trio live together in a romantic relationship, and we have agreed not to identify the parents to protect their child's identity. Here they are speaking with the CBC's Johnny Hodder.
I'm polyamorous. The boys are both monogamous, so it took a lot of explaining to the guys about how I actually am that way, and how it's not that I split the love, it's that I just have a lot of love. It took a little bit of definitely trust on their behalf for me and for each other, because this is all new to them, and I feel like their ideal wasn't to be in a polyamorous relationship, but it is ideal now.
Do you guys all like sleep together in the same bed?
Sometimes. We live in a house together and we all have our own bedrooms, and we have sleepovers like all the time. Like I'll go sleep with one of the boys or they'll come sleep with me, but you gotta have your own space, man. You gotta have your own bedroom. One person's bedroom isn't enough space for a couple, let alone 3 people. Like we all got dressers and stuff, right? So we each have our own room.
People probably think like wild, crazy things, but it's just like 2 very separate relationships just kind of under the same roof.
It's true.
And I mean, it's great for me. I'm like a turbo introvert, so I really like my own space. This has like been extra unexpectedly great for me, especially because like, you know, I've got my own. I can go hide in the basement and not feel bad about it.
I wanted to have a baby. I was waiting to meet the right dad. I knew that I was never going to have a baby unless the dad was absolutely perfect. I, more than anything on this planet, wanted my baby to have a wonderful father. Then I met 2 of them, and I am so thankful and so lucky and so blessed and so amazingly happy that I get them both, but little A gets them both forever too. Follow the raindrops or lemon drops, we don't drop, so rain that be. She wants dad.
Okay. She's sick of me today. We've been hanging out all day.
You missed me, did you? I actually contacted a lawyer probably like halfway through my pregnancy. It was early on. And basically I was like, I just need to know the legal side of this, right? And that lawyer told me that you can only have 2 parents. And he advised me to only write my name on the birth certificate. And I wasn't going to fill out the dad space with one of their names and not the other. So I just had my name on it.
Do you actually know who the biological father of little A is?
We very intentionally do not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to us. We don't know. She doesn't know. We don't care. No one should care. It doesn't matter. They're both her dads. This is Papa and this is Daddy, and it doesn't really matter whose genes she has.
Again, love is love, you know.
What if little A is sick and, you know, they need to do blood tests or they need to know who the genetic father is in that case? And what we told our lawyer and what the lawyer told the judge is honestly, it's not a pool of 800 people. There's two guys, right? This is Papa and this is Daddy, and it's one of the 2 of them. So if that happens, it's not going to be a huge deal to get that done if it's necessary.
How does it feel knowing that you're the first poly family and you're going on the books as having 3 parents for a child?
It was a big, you know, weight on our shoulders, and the fact that it's gone is great. And the fact that it's the first, cool, that's great. I love it. Hopefully this can shine some light on, you know, I'm sure a lot of people have some wild thoughts about our family and how we operate, but we're just normal people, man.
I don't have to run away. I'm right here in my own hometown. I don't have to go anywhere. I can just be a circus performer in my own city, and it's wonderful.
No need to run away to join the circus.
Performers from across the globe will soon be in St. John's. That story is ahead. And welcome back once again.
Yeah, I have to confess, during the commercial, I ate all of Colette's fruit, so
yeah, thanks.
there'll be, she'll have to make do with more
no
primitive
dinner.
graphics.
Yeah, so the first day of summer tomorrow. Are we excited? I'm excited about it.
I'm
Love
just
it.
excited that we saw the sun today,
Yeah. Right.
that it was a reasonable temperature, so just keep it coming.
Yes, and that's what we're going to do. It looks like a pretty decent day, and you know what? It's beautiful out there right now. We can go ahead and have a look at some of the current temperatures that we're seeing across Labrador and Newfoundland. And look at this, Badger at 20 degrees, Gander sitting at 21 right now, and even if we have a look at St. John's, 19 degrees at the moment, and we're also looking at 19 degrees for you folks there watching us from Bonavista. So it really some decent temperatures out there. I know we've been kind of waiting for it, the whole January thing, getting that out of the way, and tomorrow with the summer solstice, the first official day of summer. And just having a look at the winds, and I know there's a lot of kind of information on this map, but the thing I want you to take in the most is really just the direction that we're seeing the winds. So for Happy Valley, Goose Bay, and for those of you in Labrador City, it's more of a west to northwesterly flow, so it's cooler. We do have a cold front that's sweeping across the island as it goes. Out ahead of it, it's more of that southwesterly flow, not terribly strong, nothing like yesterday, right? But we are at least seeing that push of warmer air, and that's been pushing up the temperatures. Now, I did mention a cold front, so along with that, we do have the rain shower activity over the northern peninsula, across the west coast, not being picked up, but we're also seeing that into Labrador as well. So as we look at our future cast, we're going to find that rain getting heavier there, southern Labrador, right along the border. That's what's going to be happening as we head through the overnight towards tomorrow morning, and see how that front gets a little more organized as it's passing across the island. So for central Newfoundland through the overnight into tomorrow morning, there's that rain. You'll have some early morning showers and then a bit of a clearing trend, but some instability behind it back to the west and to the east for the Avalon, at least towards the morning and the start of the day. Things really looking good. So summer officially, as I said earlier in the show, comes in at 7:37 in the morning for Newfoundland, and looking at tomorrow morning, the temperature about that time being about 8 degrees, 10 degrees for Marystown. Yes, there'll be some patchy fog there heading back towards Corner Brook as well, and these morning temperatures fairly pleasant, lots of double digits you'll see there. I do have to point out for Nain and Labrador City, it's not heavy snow, but there's a chance you're going to likely see a little bit of flurry activity just kind of mixed in with the showers, and then quickly as the temperature rises, we'll see that turning just to showers, but I do need you to know that risk of some flurries through there. Let's pick it up from there and take you through the day tomorrow. So there's that cold front. As it moves further east, it gets a little bit less organized, but I do have to put the rain for the Avalon in later in the day tomorrow. It's more like tomorrow evening into tomorrow night, and that's why we'll call it a mix of sun and cloud, but we'll be seeing quite a bit of cloud cover actually moving in. 18 degrees for the high, gusty southwesterly winds, but just gusty towards 40, 45 kilometers an hour. And further towards the west, you'll get a clearing trend into the afternoon, so Corner Brook 17, mix of sun and cloud by then, and for Happy Valley, Goose Bay, headed to a high of 13 degrees. What happens after that? We've got the weekend in our long-range forecast, so I will talk about that when I come back. Debbie?
Thanks, Colette. Well, this next story is a prime example of how you can achieve anything you want with the right amount of determination. 25-year-old Kelly Picot from Buren lost her eyesight when she was 16. This weekend, she's in a powerlifting competition. Our Jill Power caught up with her at Heavyweights Gym in Mount Pearl to talk about Kelly's journey with vision loss and how powerlifting became her passion.
Going under the bar, watch your head.
I was diagnosed with optic atrophy at the age of 7. So optic atrophy is damage to the optic nerve. Until I was 16, my vision was relatively good. You know, I could see to get around without using a white cane, and I could pick out objects when they were close up and things like that. And when I turned 16, I developed astigmatism, so a shaking in my eyes. And after that, my vision went downhill.
Go down, come up, pull and turn. Good.
Back in April, the first time I ever did a deadlift, Darren was amazed at my strength and how he could explain to me how my body had to be formed, and I could do it by an explanation and not by a visual looking at Darren position his body a certain way. And it's like I have a natural instinct for weightlifting.
It's really just come down to thinking how to explain something to somebody. And be honest with you, a lot of times I just close my eyes. I say, now, how do I need to explain this to myself? And then I use that for her and it works great. When I started with Kelly first, I put her hands on the barbell and she could actually feel the grooves in the bar. So we had to figure out, okay, your hands are on this side of the grooves, this is where you should be for when you go squatting. When you're doing a bench press, your hand should be out a little wider.
If somebody had to look at you back in March and say in June you're going to participate in a powerlifting competition, what would you say to them?
I would probably just laugh in their face, yeah. I definitely wouldn't have dreamt I'd be competing, you know, in three months down the road.
Well, good luck. Well, local performers don't have to run away to join the circus because the circus is coming to them. For the first time, St. John's will soon host an international circus festival. Here and Now's Megan Kwan has the details.
They'll be flying in from Ireland, Switzerland, and all across North America. At the end of September, Wonderbolt Productions plans to put off a 4-day festival. And aerial and hoop artists from St. John's are getting in on the action.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Like, I feel like I've been waiting for a festival like this to happen in the city for like my whole life. I started doing this when I was a teenager and now, you know, I'm almost 30, so this is like, you know, it's really exciting for me.
After 30 years in the local circus business, Wonderbolt's artistic director says this is a long time coming.
We've been wanting to do this for years, but everything has come together now, especially with the Newfoundland Symphony Orchestra joining us from the École Nationale de Cirque, Cirque du Soleil sending down people. We have artists coming from Europe, and the time is right, you know.
He says local businesses and the St. John's arts community have shown tremendous support.
And I can't wait. I'm excited. I don't know anybody else, but I can't wait.
And it's not just a workshop for circus folk. There will be an outdoor fire show and sessions for families to learn skills like juggling and acrobatics. The festival runs from September 27th to the 30th. Megan Kwan, CBC News, St. John's.
Here at Beachy Cove Elementary, students have a vision to help people's vision right around the world. That's coming up. Welcome back. Well, if you've got some old pairs of glasses hanging around, whatever you do, don't throw them out. Young students at Beachy Cove Elementary enjoy sifting through piles and piles of glasses, and they do it for charity and the environment. The Lions Club in Portugal Cove St. Philip's helps recycle those glasses and ship them to more than 80 countries around the world. I dropped by Beachy Cove to see if they just might hit a total of 10,000 pairs of glasses.
For any new environmental agents that are here with us this year, you're about to embark on a very exciting project that we're involved in. You tell everybody what we're going to do?
We're going to recycle eyeglasses.
That's right. That's exactly right. We're going to recycle a whole lot of eyeglasses.
What are you doing here today?
Well, we're recycling glasses. All the broken ones go like over here and the good ones go over there in a bin.
Right. And do you like doing this?
Yeah, I did it last year. It's fun.
I like how we're helping people in the process, and it's really fun how we get to sort out the good glasses from the bad.
What I like about this is the whole notion of global citizens. I think it's important that the children know that they are children, but they have a voice and they have a purpose. And I personally believe empowering young children is probably the best job that I can do.
So what I do is that I close each eye first to see if any one of them, if one of the lenses is blurry, and if they aren't, then they're all good. But then I search for any cracks just in case.
So, Luke, what do you make of this activity?
I think that it is a great opportunity to help people, and being a global citizen is a great thing to do. And this project can really help people be introduced to what you can change in the world.
Sometimes if I put them on, they're a bit blurry, but then I just have to wait a bit. But they're still pretty good.
Okay.
These glasses are pretty good and still pretty stylish.
Do you think about who might be getting these glasses?
People who can't afford other glasses in stores.
And what about the recycling part? Are you glad that we get to actually reuse stuff instead of throwing it in the garbage?
Yeah, because then that makes other people have smiles.
Right. So what's the trick to finding the good glasses from the bad glasses?
Well, at one point I found a pair of glasses with tape on it, so I think that wasn't very good.
So that goes in the bad pile.
Yeah.
Okay, throw them in the box. Okay, just 1 second. Could I have your attention, please, environmental agents? Right here in my hand, I'm holding the 10,000th pair recycled by Beachy Cove Elementary. So when we started this in 2012, we had no idea that we would do that many in all these 6 exercises. But the kids really enjoy it. I look forward to it every year.
You told them before the activity started that just because they're kids doesn't mean they can't make a difference in the world.
Absolutely not. Because they're children, they can actually make quite a large impact on the world. So this is a project that reinforces that for them.
There's few activities out there that can change people's lifestyles, and this is one of them. And I'm glad that it is.
So well spoken.
Yeah, I know. It was very easy to interview those students. Very keen. I should mention, Debbie, that a portion of those glasses that are donated right across the province, should also mention, they're held and kept for Lions and Team Broken Earth eye clinics in Haiti and in Nicaragua.
10,000 pairs of glasses. Yeah. Congratulations. Well, the sun came out. It's starting to warm up.
Summer's around the corner. The pressure's on Colette now. Her forecast is next.
Welcome back. It is time now to see who is our young athlete of the day, and that would be Nigel Knoll, who's an active 6-year-old for sure. During the summer, he plays attendant soccer and baseball with the Pasadena Pirates.
And he also loves riding his bike, his scooter, and skateboard. Those are really cool goggles.
Yeah, and Nigel just finished an indoor Steve Nash, one of my favorites, basketball program and his first season of snowboarding at Marble Mountain. So congratulations to Nigel.
The first official day of summer tomorrow. I loved when you described how much daylight we're getting.
I know, isn't it great,
Yeah.
right? And then you think of all the things you should be getting done in those 15 hours.
No pressure,
right?
no pressure.
Right? But that's okay. Then that's when you start looking at how, okay, well, the days get shorter after tomorrow. But make the most of tomorrow. It's obviously the first day of summer. In meteorology, we actually look at it for the 1st of June. But this is our astronomical first day of summer. So that's how most of the world looks at it. We can go ahead and show you what's going on in terms of just a bit of a recap of what's happening over the next 24 hours. And then we're really going to take a look at the long range forecast through here. So overnight tonight, we do have that cold front that's moving in, but out ahead of it, that's why we're seeing these rain showers out ahead of that cold front. So pushing across the west towards central regions. And it does mean that it's trying to make its way towards us over here in the east. See how it kind of breaks apart and also moves very, very slowly. So that's setting us up. We've already had quite a lovely day today with those winds coming in out of the south to southwest. And that's setting us up for a good day as we're heading through Thursday. It's tomorrow evening that in the east we're going to see that front go through. And that's when we'll likely see the shower activity into overnight tomorrow night as we're heading towards Friday. Friday we get a pretty decent clearing trend. That is for the island. Now for Labrador, we'll still see some scattered to isolated showers, but Friday's looking good, just a little bit cooler behind that front, only a few degrees, not a big deal. And then into Saturday, I think most of you are really going to like the forecast. Saturday's looking pretty great, but we'll start to see clouds on the increase as we head towards Saturday afternoon, and that's setting us up for the next system moving through. And yes, indeed, Saturday night into Sunday, we'll start to see that rain moving in, and some of it will be quite heavy for the south coast over towards the Avalon as well. So we'll be watching that, but that's really as we're heading into Monday, and then that moves out and the next one moves in. We're really into this thing where we're seeing the series of system one after another pushing through. We get a nice break in between, and as I say, it's looking like a pretty decent break we're going to have tomorrow until that rain moves through, and then Friday, Saturday looking pretty great as well. We're going to have the 5-day forecast for St. John's coming up in a moment, but we're going to start working from Western Labrador and a look at that risk in the early morning hours that we could see a few flurries in there turning over to some light showers. 12 degrees though for the high, 17 by the end of the period. So some nice temperatures really in there. For Eastern Labrador, again, it's just going to be showers for you guys, about a 40% to 60% chance there. Temperatures though Friday into Saturday, still that risk of showers. It's almost a reverse there, that you're going to see the nicer day likely Sunday for the second half of your weekend than what we're going to see towards central and western Newfoundland. We do have those showers that are moving through. Then as we're heading through into Friday, looks like sunshine. Saturday, sunshine as well. And there we go over towards the Avalon. We are looking at increasing clouds through the day tomorrow. Okay, so we know that's coming because of that front that's going to be pushing towards us, but it will still be quite mild. High 18 degrees, and then into Friday, so it's Thursday night into Friday morning, the showers. Friday still a risk with that instability of showers, and there's that slightly cooler temperature, a little breezy on Saturday. I don't think we're going to care when the thermometer says 20 degrees. Anthony, back to you.
All right, Colette, thanks. The Prime Minister announced today that recreational marijuana will be made legal in this country on October 17th. So I guess we'll all have something special for Thanksgiving this year. The bill to decriminalize it passed in the Senate last night, and once that's signed by the Governor General, nearly a century of prohibition will come to an end.
It leaves behind a failed model of prohibition, a model that has made organized crime rich and left our young people vulnerable. In its place, we will have a new system that will give adults the opportunity to purchase and consume cannabis legally from authorized suppliers.
Several issues are still unresolved. How pot smokers will be dealt with at the border, for example, the United States, whether all Canadians will be able to grow pot plants at home, and the federal government allows that, but Quebec, Manitoba, and Nunavut are opposed. Also in question, whether people who have criminal records for simple possession will be pardoned. Ooh.
Aha! We haven't seen too many of these, have we? We've had some complaints, not enough icebergs out there. This is a gorgeous one. Looks like a piece of modern art to me, but where was this spotted? That's the question we want to know. Any idea, any guesses, guys?
Yeah, the Atlantic Ocean.
It's a big ocean.
Hey, ding, 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 ding.
Bonne Vista.
You got it.
Okay,
All right,
find out.
Yes, after the break.
Well, 30 years ago today, the federal and provincial governments signed a deal to shut down the Newfoundland Railway.
The Roads for Rails agreement would see the vast majority of $800 million from the feds going to improve provincial highways.
And here's a look back at why some believe that railway was doomed from the start.
There will always be a place in the heart of a Newfoundlander for the Bullet. It was the kind of train where you could really put her up. You could even take a special ride to remote fishing holes. The Bullet was ideal for us romantics. We wrote about it, and we did television programs about it. It was called the Bullet because it was so slow. It took more than a day to travel the few hundred miles across the island.
But one of the biggest problems of all with the Newfoundland Railway was the way it was built in the first place. They put the rails only 3.5 feet apart. Now, back in 1881, when the government of the day was deciding to build a railway, they had a choice to make. It was a technological choice, much the same kind of choice that you might have to make today when you buy a VCR. What do you go with? Do you go with Beta? Do you go with VHS? Whichever one you choose, you hope that all your friends do the same thing so that you can swap tapes. Well, the Newfoundland government made the wrong choice. For apparently reasons of economy, they went the narrower gauge, and just about everybody else in North America went the wider gauge.
That means that freight cars going to and from the mainland have to have a complete wheel change, an unnecessary expense that helps make sure the railway loses money. Then, because the tracks were so narrow, the trains couldn't get up to full speed because they might tip over. This was a very controversial railway line. Like the smoke that poured from the engine stack, controversy always seemed to trail behind.
Now, the last train ran on September 30th, 1988, and less than a month later, Workers began removing the rails and ties from the roadbed, and they were sold for scrap.
And some of those engines were sold to railways in Nigeria and South America, but most were just scrapped. But there were a few that were put on display.
You have to go down to the Railway Museum if you're ever visiting St. John's and have a look at one.
Now, still with the theme of mega projects, Ritchie Brothers held a giant auction today to sell off equipment that was used to help complete the Labrador Island transmission link.
People came from across the province to put in their bids on the heavy equipment, trucks, excavators, and lots of other gear.
Valor Construction decided to sell off its equipment rather than have it make the return trip back to its central yard out in Western Canada in Alberta.
A few deals made
All
there.
right.
And speaking of this is the real deal.
Are you ready for it? The big reveal. This is
Potterville.
Potterville. So right along the Bonavista Bay Highway.
I said Bonavista.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right?
we're going to give it to you.
Thank you.
Anthony
Thank you.
wins.
I haven't won in
today.
ages.
There you go. But I mean, it is so incredible to see the detail on that. It looks, you know, I just like little stools. You could sit on those two stools. It's like an ice bar. Am I the only one who sees that?
Well, with a bit of iceberg ice in your drink. Yes, I see it now.
All right, now we're talking.
That's our program for this evening. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night.
Good night.
Good night.